All right, everybody, we are ready for our next run. Our next runners are the world record holders for the very game and category they are about to run. And between them, they hold at least 60, count them, 60 world records over 22 different games. So anyway, they just started master blasting. Bang, bah. So let's give a Multithon good luck, have fun to TempestMask1000 and davidtki as they do a Jason any percent co-op run of Master Blaster 0. Bang, bah.
Huh. You know, this certainly doesn't feel like Kansas. David, how the heck did we get here anyway?
Well, first we found a tank, and then we took it for a joyride. Oh, right, and there was a frog in there somewhere, and it ran away from us. I don't know, let's blast
Sounds
things.
about right. Yeah, let's do it. Hello, friends and fellow gamers. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to be here. So for those that do not know me, my name is TempestMask1000, or some of you know me as Steve, and this is going to be Blaster Master 0, a really, really cool game that we are so happy to showcase. Of course, this is going to be a co-op, and I have my wonderful friend davidtki joining me. How you doing, man?
I'm doing alright. You know, this is normally a one-player game, but yay, I get a second-player controller. I'm helping.
It was meant to happen. This man is a top player of the original Blaster Master, one of his favorite games, if I do recall, and man, I knew I had to get you involved in this, because funnily enough, Blaster Master 0, this entry of the trilogy is the only one to have co-op, so we knew it was going to happen eventually, and luckily, fates crossed at Awesome Games Done Quick, and now bring us to here, where we are actually going to perform this remotely for the very first time. So we hope you all enjoy this run, and of course, I'd like to make a quick introduction to our wonderful commentators, the Shining Dragoon and Uranium Anchor.
Hello, glad to be here.
That was Uranium, and this is Dragoon. I'm happy to be over to comment the game.
Yeah, Dragoon is a returning commentator for me, and UA, this is the first time joining me, and yeah, both of them are very well versed in the Blaster Master games as well, so very happy to have them with us, but we're gonna have a great time. So let's get this thing started, shall we? David, which file should I use for our run today?
Why don't we do 17?
17. I like the sound of that. All right, so time will begin once we gain control of Sophia the Third, that being our metal attacker tank. So that's going to be right after I skip a bit of dialogue. So I will try to count you down as appropriately as possible. But okay, we are on the multiplayer thing. I did not select the wrong option. Let's heckin' go. Right,
That's happened a few
select
times.
it. It has. It truly has. You'd be surprised. Okay, now let's hope that Parsec has still connected us. Let's do this! I'm so excited.
Good luck.
Okay.
Uh-oh, is the host
Thank
doing
you.
something else right now?
3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. Go.
I'm here!
There
I'm
we
here.
go. Let's go. We're good. We're good. Oh, I jumped out of the tank accidentally. All right, so for those that do not know, the original Blaster Master game was launched for the NES in the late 80s, I do believe, and it's one of the first notable instances of what people would call an ancient Metroidvania, but it wasn't necessarily classified as such at the time, and so Blaster Master 0 holds the distinction of being a proper Metroidvania because at that point, Symphony of the Night had made its impact in gaming as we knew it, and, well, we're more than happy to be part of the ride. But this game was developed by Inti Creates, the developers of the Mega Man Zero and ZX series, and this was sometime after they started doing indie games like the Azure Striker Gunvolt series and Gal Gun, if you believe it. And, well, they got the okay go to work with, in conjunction with Sunsoft, the original developers, to effectively bring this fantastic trilogy of games, which, fun fact, was actually a Switch launch game. So, yeah, it's a pretty good game overall, and yeah, to believe that we've come so far. But we're going to pass it on over to our commentators to explain a little bit about the game as we make our way to the first main boss.
So I'm not sure how exactly they're playing it, but I know when I did this with my So I did one of the first co-op for speedrun.com, but I played with my brother actually. And
cool.
To
I didn't know that.
Originally, you had to use 2 halves of the Switch controller because it was a Switch launch and you didn't have any real third party, or at least we didn't.
It was so cursed.
And that was an interesting
help?
one.
David, big gun drop,
Okay. Here.
and then a big health drop right up above. Oh.
So you guys are
Thank
using
you.
Parsec to play together, correct?
That is correct. And the PC version of the game does have it where you can use just about any controller that the game will recognize, so long as it considers it local multiplayer. Which is a godsend over the fact that you are strictly forbidden to use anything but half Joy-Cons on the Switch version.
Yeah, it was hard to shoot like in the angles you wanted to sometimes.
All right. So here we got Mother Brain, the first main boss of the game, and yes, we have already wrong warped into Metroid. Get used to it, because it's a thing. Oh, I kind of screwed that up a little bit, but hey, that was otherwise a pretty perfect fight as can be. Let's heckin' go. There we go. Nicely done.
Well, one of the things with this game is almost every single boss has one, possibly more, weaknesses, and that'll make them like freeze, and it makes it a little bit easier to keep things in place. And if you spam fast enough, for some bosses, you can just smoke them like that.
So one thing to note, though, is that unlike later games, it won't necessarily do more damage. It does provide the stun, though, which, yeah, as Shining mentioned, is definitely well and good for just smoking them overall, and yeah. We should quickly explain, though, what David's functionality to the run will be, and excuse me for my stuttering. English is hard sometimes. But, so if you're not quite feeling a sense of deja vu, allow me to point you to a certain game released for the Nintendo Wii called Super Mario Galaxy. That's basically what David's role is amounting to as my co-op assist for this run. It's a second cursor that's being controlled and has the function of acting as a second blaster, which can be aimed all across the screen. On top of that, though, you're also noticing that with each shot he's getting on enemies, at least enemies that can be, well, bled and killed and stuff like that. I know that sounds a little metal, my apologies, but he is gaining energy to those 4 quadrants that make up the reticle, and when one turns a solid yellow and you sound effect on top of that, it means he is full charge. To use one of those to drop me a small pickup of any pickup within the game, and if he holds the button down for a bit longer, he can drop a bigger power-up for the cost of 2 points. So in the top-down sections where Jason is dungeon crawling, that amounts to health, sub-weapon ammo, and gun levels. We are mostly going to be dropping health and gun levels. On the tank side-scrolling levels, though, featuring Sophia the Third, which was our metal attacker craft, we are going to be utilizing a. Please tell me I didn't pick the wrong room. Hang on, I might be second-guessing myself here. We'll find out in a second. Okay,
That's good.
We're good. Okay, I'm sorry. I always second-guess myself when it comes to this pet portion of the game.
Well, it's what you want if I add something here?
Yeah. Go ahead, you.
Yeah. So those of you who are familiar with the original game, this game starts off very faithful to the original, both in like the layout and the stuff you'll find. But it strays more and more the further you get into it. It still remains fairly faithful even to the end. But when he was second-guessing himself, I was almost about to say something too, because I was like, wait a minute, that's not where you go in the original game.
I know. It's not. I'm not a runner of the original game, for clarification, but I do plan on fixing that pretty soon as can possibly happen. Ugh.
It's a tough
Well,
game.
it also doesn't help when 100% has you going to every different corner of the map, too.
Hang on a second, I'm gonna... Oh, yeah, I was so ready to Jason it as well. Oh, yeah, there's that, too. We should probably explain that really fast. So, Dave also... So,
I got a black
in the
hole
side-scrolling
generator.
sections... That you do. I'll explain that in a moment. But yeah, the power-ups, we were talking about power-ups that David can drop, and yes, in the side-scrolling tank sections, he can drop the blue power-ups, which are SP in this game. Now, the nice thing about SP energy is that it relegates to both your sub-weapons for your tank and also acts as your hover gauge, which in the original NES release was completely separate stuff. So luckily this fixes a major problem that runners of the first game would normally have to try and plan out for. Meanwhile, it also recharges over time, so the only real time I'll need David to drop me SP will be a later area within the game, which is definitely like SP demanding. Aside from that, though, the black hole generator that David can generate not only has the ability to nullify basic projectiles, but it can also kill small enemies. So basically, it amounts to shrimp-like mutants as well as small insectoids, except the bees that shoot their needles at us, because they're apparently built different. I'm gonna get that, yeah. I was trying to get that, but I didn't mean to lose speed for myself. The most important thing to note about this whole co-op mode is that no matter what, the first player's character remains chief to making sure that we do not lose progress, because if I die, the game will automatically spawn us to whatever checkpoint we hit last. So, very crucial. I'm gonna just take the chance right here. I didn't necessarily want to take too much damage for the damage boosts. Yes, please. Alright. The fabulous Carabulus. So fabulous that he actually spawns this time. Shout out to our friend Scavenger216.
Yep.
Still haven't figured out why that happened.
I wish we did. I would so be doing that 24/7. Getting around. There we go. Woo! Not too shabby.
And then as
So you
can...
notice, by the way... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as you can see, like when the second player shoots, it's not hit scan. It has like a little bit of lob time, so you can miss the enemy you're attacking because it just it doesn't travel the way you think it would sometimes.
That's really fun with parsec input lag.
Yeah, admittedly, Parsec is not the perfect solution, but it's sadly the only one we got, because Inti Creates never really attempted to do online multiplayer, and for what it's worth, we kind of understand. See, I'm also a runner of Mighty No. 9, incidentally, and that was a game that, as some of you may know, it happened, and yet some people figure maybe it should have just been canned. I personally still appreciate it for what it attempted to do, but it's one of the rare instances where Inti Creates made games that effectively connected online. There are still some in their repertoire. I think Dragon Marked for Death is one of them. Technically, maybe. I hope so anyway, because that game definitely prides itself on... while there's this functional single-player mode, there is definitely multiplayer made in mind with it and stuff like that. But aside from that, even then, the co-op mode in Mighty No. 9 was more mission-based rather than story-based. So yeah, not really much else to write home about otherwise. And yeah, it is a shame that they haven't really tried it since, but we kind of hope one day they will. I mean, they did kind of release a game called Gal Guardian's Demon Purge, which also kind of works really well with multiplayer in mind, just saying. But yeah, we are now in Area 3, and I'm going to be performing a bit of a risky strat here. And that strat being, I am going to avoid as many checkpoints as I possibly can, unless the situation calls for it, because if I'm close to death and there's not much we can do about it, then I'm going to have to play safe. But hopefully this trick will be executed. We haven't really failed at it yet, per se, but yeah.
It's a marathon.
Shining, if you would like to... It's a marathon. Anything can happen in a marathon. I've had so many that's never happened before moments that I could literally make a pennant out of it. Shining, if you'd like to explain what we're doing, though.
So basically, with the checkpoint system, you will, if you do a little restart, you'll keep well, it's not exactly a restart, but you'll keep most of your items, progress, things like that, but you'll go to your last save. So if you do it like a save quit, come back in, suddenly you're all the way at that first save, but then you've just, if you haven't grabbed any of those checkpoints, instead of being right next to the boss, you'll be right next to where you want to be next.
Yeah, there's a couple places in this game where that saves you a ton of backtracking, but like you said, it's risky because if you die, you start all the way back at the beginning of the stage.
It's in its own way, it's like the same as not reset warps, the death warps in the original Blaster Master. If you beat your little boss and then you just get a game over, continue, and you're suddenly at the beginning of the area, and then you're going straight to the next area. Don't have to backtrack.
It's just one of those ways that this game is sort of accidentally faithful to the original.
Yeah. It's also weird, too, because any progress that you have made technically doesn't quite save when you die, so it's kind of like it resets in a way. I don't know. So it's something from what I've seen. That was a life up. I don't have to pick that up, but I do it for safety because not only does it full heal you, but it gives Jason and Sophia a full point of health. And also, Tech, am I hearing this right, that apparently Shining Dragoon, we're using Sapphire Dragoon? Because, yeah, that's technically what we got in Discord here, but I think there might have been some wires crossed in the layout.
It doesn't really matter too much.
That's fair. For those that are unaware, the Sapphire Dragoon is Shining Dragoon here in these comms. Anyway, never fear, Central Gear is here. I love that sound effect so much, by the way. I'm so glad y'all got to hear it.
And this is a boss that is very dependent on which pattern it wants to give you. Like, that pattern's great. Like, now it's dead.
Yeah, that would have been nice to see in the first cycle, but hey, the game gives and the game takes. It's all dependent on what it wants to do.
There's like two cycles that allows you to like just basically one cycle it. One's a lot trickier to pull off than the other, though.
All right, so I just did the funny little thing. So the game does require you to save in the select button menu to make this work, but as long as you do so and then go reload the file, you'll be back in the last checkpoint that you were with any collectibles that you've had since making that saved progress. One oddity, though, is that the Switch and the PC version of the game has a different type of soft resetting as compared to the PS4 and Xbox One versions, in which, if I were to do that, it would instead take us to the Inti Creates and Sunsoft splash screens, thus making it technically slower by a few frames to do. So luckily, because we are using the PC version, which David ever so graciously gifted me as for this marathon, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna do the soft reset, which Inti Creates loves to throw into their games as an homage to their handheld titles. It's shoulders and then start and select. It's very handy. But other than that, we did get the hover ability, which was something that Central had used to lure us to the boss fight. But joke's on it, because we were able to now go ahead, defeat the thing, and use it for ourselves. Now, like I mentioned, SP gauge factors both into my hovering as well as my special weaponry, but it does recharge over time. That said, management of SP can be pretty important, especially within the 6th area of the game, which we will get to eventually. For now, we do have to do a little bit of mandatory backtracking, which UA can confirm this was also in the original game as well.
Yeah, this apparently confused a lot of people when they were kids, because very few games back then did this sort of thing.
But if you had your handy-dandy manual from the game, it does have a little map actually in it, and it does show that the next area is technically behind Area 1. So if you actually look at them, it gives you a small hint, at least.
Which is always neat. So now we're entering Area 4, and second verse is same as the first. So I will now be doing yet another checkpoint setup, except this one will be a little bit further into the map, which is for good reason. For the first time, we're going to face a main boss that is not holding a power-up, but rather a key. This is important because we need that key to open up that locked gate you see right there. So, because Area 4 is a downward labyrinth, we do not want to make the effort to go all the way back up, and thus is why we are doing this like we did in Area 3. So, we are going to be traversing something that hopefully I will not screw up. If I do, I'll think of a way to make repentance for myself. But needless to say, it has happened a couple of times, and you know, Shining can attest to that, being having seen it before.
Yeah, and it is a labyrinth. We do go through the route all the time, but at the same time, sometimes you just miss, like you jump down a little bit too far and you didn't realize it, and then suddenly you're like,
I
wait,
get that.
this is not even
we go.
close to the right way. Or it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to the 100% area to get the drill dash. Oops.
Yeah, we should probably talk about health. Okay, there we go. Cool. Whew.
I got you.
Yeah, you have, by the way, at least half of a second of invincibility frames. This game does not pull its punches. Ugh. But yeah, Joe, we got a little bit of traversing to do before we get to the boss, so if you have anything you'd like to go ahead and talk about, this would be a grand time for it.
Absolutely. Just like David, I've got you covered. Everybody, we are only $33 away from reaching the $3,000 mark. Everybody, come on, let's go. I know we can do it.
Love to hear it.
And not only that, everybody, we've got a couple of important milestones to keep in mind. At 4,000, because I know we're going to make 3,000, so I'm already looking ahead at the 4,000 mark. We will unlock a bonus run, Hot Dog Reporter, 25% off on Steam. Go check it out. It is a hot dog that needs to get in a place in a hurry to catch that story. I think I mentioned it before, but this is focused and directed right at speedrunners, so it is a fun and comfy run. Let's make that so we can unlock and get even more Multithon.
You better believe it. Alright, I'm gonna have to stop you there very momentarily because we have now entered the Chamber of Riverroll, or as Scav likes to call, Frog the Fred. Oh, we haven't even talked about the plot yet. We'll have to get there at some point. Alright, that's not too shabby at all, though. Because just like that... Wait, you blinked?
I did.
Oh man, David, what'd I tell you about blinking?
I'm sorry.
Shaking my head.
The missiles are
alright.
good.
Missiles are very good. Yeah, this is the only sub-weapon that we use in any percent at all, and that's kind of strange to say because this game has some really good sub-weapons. They're just much slower to go out of the way to get. It's unfortunate, but hey, at the very least, the leaderboard does account for the fact that 100% is very much in the market, and also the way to get the true ending of the game, if you could actually believe that.
That's good.
Yeah, just to clarify on that point, 100% requires you to pick up all of the optional power-ups before you beat the Area 8 boss, and then when that happens, it sends you to Area 9, and Area 9 has the real boss at the end of it.
Oh, dang it. I had a feeling that when I walked off the cliff instead of jumping, that was going to happen. Sorry. Not the worst point of death, though.
Can you make that if you just walk off? I've always jumped off.
No, I don't
like
really believe myself in that. I don't believe that at all. I swear that happened by accident. In fact, let's mark the pennant. It's never happened before.
Maybe if I shot you, I could have halted the fall.
Just say it was a drop input,
wishful
you know?
thinking.
That happens, right? Drop
This,
input.
this isn't Cave Story. You can't launch yourself up with the gun. Sorry.
Oh.
I still need to play Cave Story, dang it. Okay. With that out of the way. Actually, this would probably be a great time for me to look into Cave Story 3D now that I have a capture card. Anyway. Yeah, we got some sinking to do, because I got a very sinking feeling we're in the ocean right now.
Oh.
Wait a second. I just did a dad joke. But wait, David's the dad joke expert here. What am I doing?
Making a dad joke.
Am I supposed to become a dad one day? I guess the fates have aligned.
David, on a scale of 1 to minivan, where would you rate that dad joke?
I don't know anything about that scale.
I never even heard of that in my life. you. So, right now we do have to do some swimming though, because unfortunately Sophia Third is very not adapted well to water transportation. Jason is, however, at a bit of a vulnerable state because outside of the tank he takes double the damage to anything Sophia does. He is not the worst in terms of defense, though. That honor actually goes to Gunbolt, because Blaster Master Zero does have 4 other characters that you can buy via very cheap DLC packs. Although, oddly enough, I think the Steam version has a couple of them built in as part of the package, because when David gifted me the game, he also gave me the DLC, and the only thing Steam told me I got was Shovel Knight and Shantae. Apparently Gunvolt and Akora were already added in somehow or something. I don't know how to explain that one, but I'll take it, I guess. You know, things you never know, but then you eventually learn. I will say, though, that if you do own this game and you do not have the DLC characters, please play them. They're actually really fun. Inti Creates did a wonderful job adapting their gameplay into their movesets, and although the tank does not change appearance unlike the sequel game Blaster Master Zero 2's 2 DLC characters would do, it does change color scheme, which is a nice touch, and I should know. I'm also a Gunbolt runner.
No, all you need to know about playing Shantae is that the fastest method of movement involves constantly charging as a cute elephant, and that just makes it the best.
We love elephants. Oh, yeah, actually, come to think of it, Shantae is getting a new game, although it's actually the canceled GBA game that was supposed to happen right after the first game, and we instead got Risky's Revenge, so that's going to be fun to see. I'm very much looking forward to that.
This dungeon has a lot of waiting around. All of these little platforms are on a little timer. You can make a lot of these cycles, but there are some where it just is impossible and you just have to wait.
Yeah, this is, I don't remember if this is still true, but I know when Shantae first released, you could actually go out of your way to get a spell that would let you fly, basically, and would let you skip a lot of these, and it was, even with the side trip, it was worth it. Although I think they moved where you got it, so I'm not sure if it's still true that it's faster to get it anymore.
Yeah, I always love to see that first try.
It's when you, I'm pretty sure that you get the mother brain power up, and that allows you to just kind of float over everything.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was still faster to get in the current version, because I recall that they moved where you found it.
Gotcha.
07's to our only fish friend. Fun fact, this game is rated E for everybody with mild fantasy violence. That is the only instance of blood in the game.
Mild fantasy blood.
It's animal blood,
Yeah,
it's
pretty
fine,
much.
It's not real blood.
Ugh.
The fish.
I
Fish
love
can't feel,
animals,
right?
though. Okay, yeah, that'll do, and then I'm going to need a small, 2 smalls. Or that'll do. Yeah,
Well,
I guess that'll do.
Yeah.
So
Two
that's a
smalls
fun
would
little
take
trick
the same amount of
because
energy.
it's not guaranteed to get those gun drops. So, well, no, there is one guaranteed, but like you'll have to enter, re-enter like 2 or 3 times depending on how bad luck you got going through that area.
Yeah, having
You need max
time
gun for
wasting.
this.
yeah, it makes it so
very
much
time
faster.
It's
Yeah.
still worth getting that because of just this boss.
I kind of have to wonder
Alright,
if
David.
that's like a throwback to the original, like even more so than the boss already is, just because so many people straight up
Wow.
could not beat.
What? He just,
Nice.
He just stood there and took it.
Yep.
I do not see that luck often. That I will take that. I will gladly take that.
If that boss gets out of control, it can go wrong in a hurry. So that was pretty good.
Holy
One
smokes. That split did not gold,
normal
though.
difficulty
So
has, though,
unfortunate.
that almost every single boss is weak to the final gun. Like, in some way, it's either good against them or it actually literally stuns them. But in the
but
hard
surprisingly...
mode, that's
oh yeah,
just...
talk about that one, please.
Yeah, hard mode's interesting.
It's called Destroyer Mode. It's one of the many unlockable modes you get for getting the true ending for the first time. Which, by the way, folks, if you want an incentive to donate to, we actually have a bonus run that I'll present if met. Actually, did we meet that yet, Joe? I actually don't know.
We are still working towards it, but I believe in everyone. When you go to donate, which you can do simply by clicking that link at the top of our Twitch chat that's pinned, or go underneath the stream, hit that donate button. Simple and easy. Select that Blaster Master Zero bonus run, and we can help unlock it. We're still making progress towards it, but I believe in you, chat. We can get it done.
It's fine if we don't get that incentive, but y'all really do want to see what I have to cook with that one, because Unlimited Mode is the fastest any percent. It can be beaten in less than 15 minutes. It is one of the easiest speed runs for anybody to get into with this game, and I recommend it. It's basically equivalent to a New Game Plus mode, which also grants you access to the tank that you'll get if you pursue the 100% true ending, because this game, Blaster Master Zero, has a Sophia Zero, which you get in Area 9. I will not say anything else, though, because, trust me, it is really worth seeing. And even if it's not through tonight, y'all deserve to see it for yourselves. Trust me. I hard vouch for getting this game. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's got to be on sale. Indie Creates usually jumps on a lot of major Steam sale opportunities, and there is no reason not to get this for $5.
Yeah, this is a fantastic game, and we're only seeing, like... We're seeing less than half of it because the 100% really requires you to go all over the place looking for power-ups. And some of the power-ups are really, really fun. Like the drill dash is a lot of fun. That's probably the big one.
Technically Spark Tackle, if I'm not mistaken, because isn't Drill Dash 02?
Yeah, you're right.
I think I was thinking actually of Overdrive.
Gosh, I can't even remember.
Yeah, Drill Dash is definitely Overdrive.
Oh, good gosh. Yeah, for those that don't know, the last Blaster Master game we got before this one was a WiiWare exclusive called Overdrive.
It was bad. It was bad.
That's a play
game
that has.
It was bad.
I mean to learn it someday.
Same.
Why are we
like this?
The
not on a
bosses
Wii
are
approach.
actually interesting overall.
All you need to know is that you have to play it. Okay, there's two things you have to know. Firstly, you have to play it on the Wiimote, which is awful. It does not support the classic controller. And secondly,
for some reason.
Your normal shots drain your energy gauge, and the only way to get your energy gauge back is to hold still, and it really makes the pacing terrible.
Well, I mean, that's also what you need to do dash and hover and everything else too.
Speaking of hovering, welcome to Hover de Jour, or whatever you want to call it. This is Area 6, the Glacier area, and they really want you to platform.
Yep.
This is going horribly.
Create
as
your
I
own platforms.
Can expect. I'm gonna probably have to do a retry at the first checkpoint I see.
That is a hard section to do quickly, especially because of the limited hover that you have.
Actually, I'm gonna do this.
So the other thing is that like any checkpoint
let that
you
work.
enter into, so like this dungeon, you can do a retry, and then suddenly you have all of your health and everything back. It's definitely a good way, even if just playing casually, just like, oh man, I just really beefed that. Let's go and get some health back.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out that you're normally supposed to freeze that section too, but you can totally just skip that and go through it normally.
Thank heck.
Everybody,
I can
is it
only
okay if
deal
I
with so
chime in
much
real
ice
quick?
platforming.
Of course.
Everybody, we just hit $3,000. Let's
go!
go! We got a $32.75 donation from Shala Kitty that says, here, for good folks and good incentives, and $3K for Blue Path. Let's go, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's keep it going.
Scala, you rock. Thank you so much. Hey, we found Frog the Fred.
We did it.
Oh yeah, we never
Now the
explained
game's
the
over,
story,
right?
huh?
The story
would-
the story is that it mixed the U.S. and Japanese stories together, and possibly some stuff from the book.
Yes, there was a Blaster Master Worlds of Power novel. There were like 7 Worlds of Power novels, and it's some pretty cool stuff. The Worlds of Power novel is actually what introduced the fan favorite character Eve, who we actually rescued at the end of Area 2 when we beat Crabulous. By the way, Kana who? Eve is best girl. Just saying, if you know, you know. But, seriously, I actually do want to give a very brief shout-out, by the way, to a wonderful idol and voice actress named Phoebe Chan. She is actually the very first person to have had the pleasure of voicing Eve in English, which, sadly, it's not through this game or any of the trilogy games, but it was for a DLC appearance in Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X2, where you actually get to fight Jason. So it's really cool, and it's actually what introduced me to her, and I stan her so much. She is such an amazing singer. She's got a fantastic voice and a very entertaining streamer at that. So Phoebe, if you're watching, Ohachi! Shout out to the Beehive.
But what about Blaster Master blasting again?
You know, I was about to bring that up.
Roddy?
Eve? No, that's not
Healthy?
Eve. That's his sister. Eve does show up later though.
For now.
You're getting the deep lore.
Well, we gotta go ahead and not talk about lore now because we got the worst boss of the
The
game.
most annoying
Welcome!
boss in the game. First
Yeah,
some
Welcome
characters.
to the Fun Police.
Hopefully this goes well.
Hopefully. And
That looks good.
oh, that's actually good because I stopped straight up. Come on. Come on, open up. It's doing the laser. Let's go.
I didn't need
Nah,
to
it wasn't
try to get
terrible.
that.
Yeah, as you can see, the
Holy
lightning gun absolutely destroys that boss if you're fast.
It's called Striker, by the way. I wonder where that comes from. It's like a certain blonde-haired, lightning-wielding man had some kind of influence because the developer just so happened to... I'm sure it's a coincidence.
Maybe.
Eh. It's actually funny, though, because once you do get Eve, there is a portrait of her in the tank menu, which you're probably not going to see me use at all throughout the run, but you can converse with her. She has some wonderful dialogue, and if you hear her talk about the striker gun, she says a little phrase where if you know, you know.
Yeah, I think she
It's
gets.
wonderful.
What does she get? Like hints and things as well, I believe. I can't. It's been
Yes, as well as some optional story interactions which really expand upon the overall events of the game, like the progression. I literally went through all of them when I did like a recorded casual playthrough of this game. I love Eve so much. I'm not just saying this because I haven't experienced the wonderfulness that is Eve. I have. She is my best girl for a reason. I have to nerd out a little. I'm sorry. I am a bit of an anime fan, but you know, I did not cry on prom night. You're welcome, Zokubun. You're welcome. I swear, I'm making references left and right tonight. How you feeling, David?
I like the pew pew sound that my shooty target makes. Pew 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 pew. That's why I keep pressing the button even though I don't really need to.
It's true. I've just accepted it at this point. I mean, hey, we can totally just chillax. I'll let that one freeze over for a moment.
Oh, I was.
Is it too late to
I
back
am
out of
going
this
to become a
commentary?
dad. No, it's not. Save yourself. Wait, what am I saying? Oh, God. Joe, help us out, please.
Absolutely. I've got you covered. You know, speaking of, I know we were saying this is a very comfy run. I think that my wife actually just gave me some hot cocoa, so I am all
heck
in
yeah.
for the comfiness of this run. But I am also all in for Blue Path in what they offer. They provide autism service dogs that give safety, companionship, and opportunities for independence for individuals with autism. Their vision is to be the definitive leader in autism service dog provision, transforming the lives of individuals, families, and communities. Definitely make sure, if you have the opportunity, give to this great cause, everybody.
Please do. I'm not joking when I say, as a major dog person, it always makes me feel pretty happy to work with charities like these. Like, seriously, we have a Labradoodle at my house. We've had him for 9 years, going on 10. His birthday is actually next month, and I love him so much. He is the light of our lives. Shout out to my dog Sammy. I'm sorry, I got warm fuzzy feelings just thinking about it right now.
Dogs are warm and fuzzy.
Remind us, your family recently got a pupper yourself, David, right?
Yeah, I forget the name of the breed though, but he's a young puppy. Yeah, he's breaking into the house. Not like breaking into things. He's behaved. He's housebroken.
Heck yeah.
And he keeps licking my face.
Aw, you love it. It seems as though Sam has only really had a penchant for licking my face, when in fact, I feel so bad for my parents. I tell you, he's a mama's boy. Whenever she gets home from work, he makes such a scene, and it's the funniest thing ever. But then if he really loves her so much, you just give her the same attention you give me, Sam. I wonder if he's actually hearing upstairs. This is such a wonderful run. I love this so much already.
Yeah, all we got here is frogs.
Oh yes. So, right, David, summarize for the wonderful people at home the U.S. plot of Blaster Master, if you could please.
Well, Jason was playing with his frog, but then it escaped and ate a box of plutonium in his backyard, and then it went underground, so he took a tank for a joyride.
This game was originally called Chowakusei Senki Metafight in Japan, and actually Blaster Master Zero is an official sequel to that game. So it takes place, I believe, 10 years after the events of that, and in that case, you're playing as Kane Gardner, who pilots the tank known as the Metal Attacker, and is saving the planet named Sophia, whereas Sophia is the name of the tank in Blaster Master, the US version. So it's kind of funny how they made some interesting changes, and yet it also turned out that the game proved a bit more successful here in the US. And yet it's a shame that the Blaster Master 2 sequel it got.
Hey, I love that game.
I mean, you do. I know.
Let's be honest. There aren't really any good sequels between the first one and this one.
UA, you held that poor audience hostage at a legacy GDQ.
It'll never happen again.
It's one of those things you can only do once because you'll never get away with it a second time.
It's true.
The top-down section by itself, like, who decided that was like a good idea?
David.
Right. I'm not supposed to wake up the security.
Actually, we'll say no. We'll just say that was for show and tell. It's
Yes,
fine.
yes.
We'll just tell
Sure.
the chat that was completely. Don't tell chat that was completely unscripted. Oh, that was perfect though. Let's go.
So yeah, so this entire gimmick in this area is stealth. You have your little spotlights that if you go into, it'll trap you and kill. You have to kill a certain amount of enemies to get out. And then these guys, if they see you, they'll get all of their friends. Usually,
All right, so
I'm
sometimes.
ready. Go.
Oh, hey, you got it perfectly. I was not as perfect, but that's perfectly fine.
If
How many
you
times
run
did I
out
say
of
perfectly
missiles
in
to
a
kill
sentence?
those, it becomes get out of car on the tank with Jason.
Yeah, which I prefer not to do for the record.
So I guess you could call this section Metal Attacker Gear Solid.
Yep.
That did. I'll accept that. That had that had some good taste in my mouth. And
then
good
this
taste usually means like pizza flavored or something like that. So hey, we're always chilling here in my place.
Woo!
And obviously it is faster, as long as you can kill the enemies quickly. A lot of times it's faster to just trigger the trap instead of going the sneaky way around.
Okay, frickin' heck. Okay, there we go. I did not want to do that though. Come on, let that count. Whoa, jeez. I'm surprised I did not get detected from that second one though. Okay.
Speaking of second, we are in the... This is the Area 7, correct?
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is yes.
So we are in the second to last area of the game.
It's about to get a little bit tougher. And I really do mean tough.
Oh yeah, Area 8 pulls no
area so much.
punches.
Yeah.
This,
I like to
this
think of that as the
dungeon is
great
just
equalizer, if you
painful to
will.
go through quickly.
Oh, yeah.
If you make a wrong move, you're just... you have to restart, basically.
Alright, let's hope. This is the one where I actually play ball with them. Okay. 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 Oh! Well, that's you! I mean, what? No, that was totally supposed to happen. Dang it!
So, yes, when you trigger one, you trigger them all. So unless you, like, take them all out at the beginning or whatever, if you trigger them in an open space without any, like, walls to
frick
protect
it.
you...
Hang on. Ah! Okay, come on. Okay. That's good. That's a good start.
Safety strats.
All right. Yeah, it's funny because Striker Gun is very, very powerful, but of course Inti Creates knows that, so you can only fire one shot at a time. So if you're ever able to chain it, then we actually like to use that over the wave gun. Surprisingly, it's pretty good. It's actually pretty
if
good.
you can get up and close to an enemy and just spam, it's ridiculously strong.
And that was an example of fall damage. Oh, hi! That's the boss from the final boss of the first game. What's it doing here?
Boring it is.
Lionhead Eater.
Apparently. I love the boss intros of this game, though, seriously. And Skeleton Boss is a pretty popular boss because apparently it was... Ooh!
Bad luck.
I hate this boss now.
That's the entire, not entire gimmick, but that's basically the entire thing with this boss. The bouncing
Yeah,
balls
it's
knock you
marathon
off the stupid
luck.
platforms.
And we unfortunately have to see the intro cutscene of this fight again. The good news is that because I have played through Jason's campaign once, I am able to skip it. So surprisingly, this is a game where if you do want to learn the speed run, you actually are better off going through the game casually first because it doesn't let you skip dialogue unless you've seen it once already. That's a little better.
Yeah,
Oh,
unfortunately,
thank
that pattern
God.
that he got the first time, if you get that, you really just can't do much about it. You just don't have any time to react.
All right, David, what time is it?
Shooting time?
Blast away.
And then he explodes. Like all good bosses.
But yeah. It's a pretty popular boss. Whether with the fans of this game or with Inti Creates, it has made other appearances in the sequels, and it basically gets more and more King Ghidorah-like, and it is the most amazing thing, period. Alright, here we go.
And now we're in the... Well, we were in a classic NES game. The needed, always needed, just biological zone that has pulsating walls and bio stuff everywhere.
You know, the meat level.
Yeah, what's that?
The meat level.
The meat level, what?
This is the meat level.
It sounds...
It's all meat.
Contra and... Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden has one, I think, yeah.
I never thought about this terminology, and I will have to process this over a burger one of these days. I will say, though, this area is confirmed to be a living giant mutant. Yeah, no, it's fine. I was not ignoring that, I promise. I was just going for the small one first.
Yeah, so as you can see, they ramp up the difficulty ridiculously in this little final area. All enemies all the time, narrow passages,
Yeah, but this
spikes
room,
everywhere.
this room is a lot easier this time around.
Well, yes, well, because we don't have to worry about Wall 2 shenanigans as much.
Oh yeah, there were 2 wall
enemy.
power-ups. Wall 2 is the enemy. Yeah, imagine an NES game where you not only have to gain 2 different... Oh, help! You can only
that's all I
drop
got.
a small one. All right, no problem. We'll make this... Well, that guy had a say in it. Thankfully, he paid me back in full. Right. Yeah, you have to collect 2 upgrades to be able to drive up walls. You drive up walls first, and then the second one lets you go up ceilings or something like that. Only problem is, this was an NES game at first, and it did not have shoulder buttons. Luckily, the wall driving in this game is to the trigger buttons, so you're in much better hands here.
Yeah, just imagine trying to go off a ledge, and instead of jumping, if you get too close to the ledge, suddenly you just get plummeted down the wall into a spike pit, which they purposefully put there because there's no reason they would do that anyway. They knew that that was so easy to do it. That's
I tried.
unfortunate.
Wow.
I feel so defeated from that.
Well, thankfully you didn't jump over that save point. I've done that once or twice, for like just not even really thinking about it, and then you die, and it's like, oh, now you're all the way back.
Yeah. I really hope that does not put us behind pace. I have been
I
doing
think you're good.
so good. No. It's true. Look, we are still technically on. I'm gonna shut up now, I think.
I'm pretty sure you're fine.
I hate it when I do that to myself.
Yeah, so
It's like Bobby Flay.
you can see how
all
good
over
the
again.
lightning gun is in these areas.
Yeah, those things are called cell rejections, by the way.
Yeah, so one thing I don't think
Oh,
we
and the-
pointed out about how the gun power-ups work in this game is that you see that that red gauge they've got there. It gives them a selection of guns to pick from, and so as long as you've got at least 6 notches, you can use the lightning gun. If you have it full, you can use the wave gun. I don't even remember what some of the others are because those are the 2 that are
Flamethrower's
used
the
most.
second to last, I think.
There's pea shooter, long shot, piercing shot, spread shot, rapid fire, reflect, striker, flamethrower, and then wave.
Yeah, reflect.
Which is actually a pretty underrated gun. It's pretty cool when you know how to use it. So this is the one instance of a mandatory mid-boss that we have to face, and you actually get to hear the mid-boss theme, which I thought was pretty jammin' when I first learned about this game. Alright, good stuff, David. I'm gonna get some, I'm gonna drink some vitamin water just while I got some time.
You get your electrolytes.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I blame my friend the Bruiser for getting me hooked on this one, especially the lemonade flavor. Come on here. Alright, so now we are reaching the home stretch. So that second key is the last key we need. You get 3 more, though, if you're gaming for 100%. Which, by the way, we also forgot to mention, you have to collect all of the maps as well. The game requires you to get all the maps in... like all area maps anyway, but I think we also require in 100% for you to get the Area 9 map, even though it's also technically optional at that point, which, hey, is 100%. It makes sense.
Yeah, might as well at this point.
Yeah. But in unlimited mode, best ending, which is just simply get all the conditions you need because, you know, that's the irony right there. In unlimited mode, you can reface all of the bosses again, and they'll still technically give you power-ups for that, and it is required in order to get to Area 9.
Yeah, it's odd.
It's a little odd, but hey,
in the area he was just in, you got two options. One's the right way, and the one's the wrong way. And the wrong way makes you fight a bunch of enemies, etc., etc.
And we only got a couple bosses left. It's this guy and then his final form. So we're getting pretty close.
So this is Goez from the first game, aka the Underworld Lord. We're gonna do some tanking with him and then just shoot him appropriately and also pellet him with some grenades. Striker gun is still very, very good here. And last but certainly not least, he's gonna go Human Torch and Flame on for us. This is the multi-dimensional Overlord. Time will be on the final hit. I am hoping he turns blue.
So there's 4 different colors. He does different things for each one, and he has different weaknesses for each one. This is
That's
a terrible
the one we didn't want to see. He's good in other character situations, but that was not what I wanted at all.
He is not.
Oh, that's a weak one. That's a weak one.
He's not cooperating very much, is he?
Oh, come on, David gun.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I got this. I don't got this. All right. Oh, shoot! Health.
Gotcha. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay. All right. And time. And that's a new world record.
Yay.
Let's go.
Yay.
So the funny thing about all these co-op runs, there's not too many people who've done them.
Record's a record, right?
Record's
A record is a record. And I just really wanted to give Multithon that opportunity to celebrate one. I am so happy about that.
Overall,
seriously.
it's a pretty good run.
Yeah, this game is not easy.
Let's get those celebrations in chat for getting to witness a world record. Congratulations, Tempest and David. Hey, do you have any shout outs that you want to give?
Absolutely. We're gonna start, of course, with the Blaster Master Blaster Master speedrunning community. We have leaderboards for all the games in the franchise, and while it's a bunch of us old birds and some of us new birds like me, we are a pretty chill community, and we more than welcome any newcomers, any lovers of the game casually, or those that just want to learn the runs. Please join us. We would love to teach you. And please, our link is on any of the Blaster Master speedrunning leaderboards on SRC. And of course, I'd also like to give a shout out to Scavenger216, whose Blaster Master Zero run at GDQ basically inspired me, alongside people like David, Uranium Anchor, Shining Dragoon. All of y'all, you set the stage before I joined the community, and I'm thankful that you all did, truly from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being so good to me.
Awesome. Where can everyone find you if they want to watch you play some more?
Well, we're going to start with myself really quick. I'm TempestMask1000 here on Twitch and YouTube. I also have a Twitter at @It'sTempestSteve and a Blue Sky at TempestMask, which I am mainly a hobby streamer. I'm not very dedicated, although I really would like to at least have a bit of a regular schedule per se. But you can usually find me posting about any intent to stream there and all that jazz. David?
Yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/davidtki when I stream, which hasn't been very much as of late. I've been meaning to do more of it. I stream whatever I feel like on any given day, usually a speedrun, and it's very often something retro or possibly DOS, but you see some NES stuff too, and sometimes you just see random other things that I just feel like.
UA?
Great stuff. Thank you so much for that amazing run. Everybody, Multithon 2024 is going to be taking a very quick break, but don't touch that dial because we will be right back with our next run.